thank everyone, first of all, and welcome you. Thanks for joining us today at the MBA Tour Women in Business event. We are really, really excited to kick off this keynote or opening session, Unleashing Your Potential, Why Women Should Consider Pursuing a Graduate Degree. I am honored to be here today as a representative from Forte. My name is Sarah Dewar. I am a program manager on the pre-MBA or early career team at Forte. If you're not familiar with us, our mission is to get more women leading in business, particularly by way of graduate education, providing resources, helping break down financial barriers, and making that network or building those connections for accessibility. So before we get started, we have some questions arranged for today's session. I'm going to turn it to my panelists for some brief introductions, and then we'll jump right on in. So Hannah, I'll start with you if that's okay.
Hello, everyone. My name is Hannah Artis, and I'm the Senior Director of Graduate Admissions at the University of San Francisco within the Massagung School of Management.
And I am Ginny Hinderscheid. I'm the head of marketing for post-experience programs at Grenoble École de Management in France.
Great. Well, thank you both so much for being here. And again, attendees, thanks for joining us. You'll have the opportunity to connect with our panelists throughout today's event and members of our team as well. So we look forward to a continued conversation and hope you enjoy today's event. But to get us started, Ginny, I'm going to turn it back to you. We all know, and hopefully our attendees here know, that business schools are working really hard to improve the gender balance in classrooms, particularly Forte's mission, the important work that we've been doing for over 20 years. But when it comes to school selection, beyond the numbers, what other considerations should women have when comparing different institutions?
Yeah, well, I think it's important to look beyond the gender balance, although it is really important, and focus on factors that directly impact you and your experience and your future success. And to do that, I think when evaluating a school, I would look at representation and leadership. So I think it's important to see women in faculty, executive roles, advisory boards. It's a strong signal of a school's commitment to gender. And why that's important is because those also provide opportunities for mentorship and role models, right? I would look also at the classroom environment. So a diverse classroom also prepares you to lead in a global business setting. So at GEM, we're very fortunate to have full gender parity in our classroom, with actually 50% and sometimes more making up of women in our cohort these recent years. But you gain a lot more in a diverse classroom, and so this creates an environment where diverse perspectives can drive collaboration and innovation, and everyone gets more out of their classroom experience. I'd look also for evidence of diversity, equity, and inclusion. And so look for women-focused initiatives or just your general run-of-the-mill clubs, the things that you're interested in, are they being led by women? Your alumni clubs, these activities, the things that interest you, the finance club, so either look for those gender activities or just look to see how women are involved in those activities at the school. I personally also am very passionate about research, so look for gender-focused research and the curriculum. So at GEM, we have a chair of the Women in Economic Renewal, which helps support female entrepreneurs and addresses barriers in tech and underserved communities. But there are lots of other examples for ways in which research and curriculums can enforce or reinforce some of those things that you're looking for. But most importantly, probably for everybody on this call, is your career progression and alumni networks. So your career trajectory post-MBA is really key. This is what you're doing it for. Your school should offer leadership workshops, salary negotiation trainings, mentorship programs, and a strong alumni network, whether it's for women or not for women. That alumni network will help to get you the right connections that you need. And support your growth long after your graduation. And to look for this information, I'll give you like 3 tips. An easy way to look for this information about a school is look at rankings. So like Financial Times and QS. And for us, we're ranked by both and recognized for career progression. look at publications, so reports, press releases, insights into a school's diversity and equity and inclusion initiatives. And the best is really just engage with the community. So attend the open days, talk to the faculty, talk with current students and alumni, gain firsthand their experience. They are the ones who will tell you directly what it's like, and you need to set yourself up for success. So I think it's deciding on the right MBA program isn't just about representing women, but actively looking for things that will support women in their career success. So you're looking for the tools, networks, and opportunities to help you achieve this. And I'll
Amazing.
pass on the question.
Yeah, thank you so much for those tips. I think the biggest thing, and we know this here at Forte, and you all know this as well, is you only get one chance to do your MBA, and it's such a big investment in yourself. You're pausing your career. Perhaps you have family that you're going to kind of be multitasking some things around. And so being sure that you're connecting with that community and kind of getting the vibe or the culture and understanding that it is the right fit for you personally and professionally is so, so, so important. A lot of the work, like I said, on the pre-MBA team at Forte, we are helping you learn about the opportunities of an MBA through the lens of women who've navigated it before you. Maybe you are in a position where you know that you have a female mentor or how important that mentorship can be. So use this school selection process and the resources that the schools put out there for you as an opportunity to get that mentorship, to understand what the process was like for other women who've navigated it before you, not just the application process, but their MBA overall classroom experience, engagement with faculties, you taking advantage of different resources and clubs that are available, and then even their recruitment process post MBA, what services or career services or support are available, negotiating scholarship. That's a big one, but one of my favorites that I absolutely love, not just scholarships, but salary as well. So great. Well, we're going to jump a little bit ahead. Now, once you're in the program, and Hannah, I'm going to turn this one over to you. When a candidate is in their program, they're enrolled, they've successfully navigated applications, what can they do to better position themselves for that corporate world, either an internship or post MBA?
Great question. So first, go to class, okay? It's very important that you take advantage of the curriculum experiences while you are a student in your program. And I know that that sounds like basic information, but it's very important. And then second, I always encourage students to really work with the career services teams. So in whatever university you're choosing or selecting, and this will be part of your selection process, but know that they have executive coaches, career services teams that are here to support you with resume work, with industry exploration, salary negotiations. And that's not just one meeting. That is multiple meetings either built into your curriculum or optional for you to participate in. And it's not something that you can really just do once or all the way at the end of your MBA or master's program. So really ensure that you prepare yourself to know that you have check marks, threshold, benchmarks to meet while you're in the program that go beyond your GPA and that really go beyond what's happening in the classroom. You really want to find a career services team that will support you throughout the duration of your program. You'll also want to invest in yourself through co-curricular clubs like startup clubs, the Women in Business Club, in student and government. You really want to seek resume building experiences as well as narrative building. Upon graduation, you will go through interviews, and these interviews are going to want to know not just that you have an MBA or a master's program, but that you have an internship, that you participated in clubs, that you were network building. And these are all stories that will help you land either that salary negotiation to build experience or that first position outside of your graduation for your program. And I always like to tell students that faculty, staff, program directors, they're all working tirelessly to create classroom experiences and to create co-curricular experiences that will excite you, but they're also preparing you for the corporate world. It is mutually beneficial for us, for you to have that great internship, for you to engage in these clubs. We want to be ranked highly, so we are very much invested in you participating in them. So no matter what program you pick, this is something that we have thoughtfully and craftily created for you, and it's important that you be ready to engage. This is 1 to 2 years of your life. You don't just want to start with your classrooms from 6 to 9:30 p.m. or just on Monday and Wednesday. You really want to take that 1 to 2 years and invest in the co-curricular and the career services teams that will help benefit you post-graduation.
I love it. Super big emphasis on taking advantage of the resources that the school has in place for you. They want you to succeed, whether that be learning as much as you can in the classroom, joining clubs, gaining opportunities, and that post MBA career. You know, they want you to have those opportunities, and they are very intentional, being sure that there are plenty of opportunities for you to build your resume within that 2-year time frame while you were on campus, right? You're stepping away from a professional career, 1 or 2 years, or more if you're going part-time or exec, depending on your format. But having those opportunities to continue growing and developing, not just academically, but in clubs and with leadership roles, and helping you gain those skills and hands-on experiences to help you reach those goals are really things that you should be taking advantage of as a current student. We're going to take a step back again, and Jenny, I'm going to come back to you. Probably something that our candidates or the women here in attendance have experienced, unfortunately, will experience through the application process. And even once they are candidates in the MBA or alums of MBA, is imposter syndrome. We are all unfortunately very familiar with that and how it can impact everything that we're doing. So my question for you, Jenny, is how can women combat the imposter syndrome and ensure that they're showcasing their talents accurately in their application process without fear of being too much, right? Because that's always what we get.
Absolutely. So I think first we'll define imposter syndrome. So it's sort of the feeling of doubting your achievements. So it's important to recognize that means your own achievements, despite the evidence of your success, right? And this can be a real challenge for women in the MBA application process or life in general. But the problem is that what it does is it leads to self-censorship and downplaying your accomplishments and hesitating to apply for opportunities. So I think I'll give you a couple tips for overcoming it. One, I would say first is to recognize it, right? Just recognize its awareness. Ask yourself, would my brother, would my counterpart, would my friend, my male friend, would he hesitate in this situation, or would he, just try? What do you have to lose, right? So just keep in mind, recognize we all feel it, but self-awareness will help take you to that next step. Being mindful of this system can help, really challenge that self-doubt, and that that might risk undervaluing your achievements. Get a second opinion. So reach out to your trusted colleagues, your friends, your peers, mentors, a professor who know your work. Ask them to review your application. Ensure that you're highlighting your accomplishments, because often we don't put them in our CV. We feel like we're bragging, we downplay them. So ask someone who knows your work and say, does this reflect me? And I think what you'll find surprising, just even going through the MBA application process is it's a good step for everything in life, because it helps you sort of create a milestone. This is what I've accomplished so far, and this is where I want to go. And it helps you sort of regroup together, whether you're going to, sometimes I say, if you don't know if you want to apply or not apply, prepare the application, because it will help you collect your thoughts. It'll help you collect your references. What do people say about me? What do I know about myself? What is it that I want to do? What are my objectives? And you'll see it all on paper, and you'll be like, I've done a lot, actually. Actually, I'm pretty great. And here's another trick for you is, from Hannah will agree, from the admissions side, we want you to succeed. Having a diverse pool of candidates and women on our MBA, it makes us look good. Okay, so go ahead and try. Like, we're there to help you. We want you to do well. So while I think it's important to be cautious of this self-censorship, it's important to acknowledge that there are external challenges, right? So it's not just that you don't have the confidence. There really are segregation of opportunities and discrimination. Those are real problems. And Forte, and Sarah will confirm, has excellent data that you can look at that shows some of those, you know, the salary gaps, and also the path of women who do complete their MBAs versus women who don't. There's a lot of interesting things that you could look at when you're considering an MBA. And those are, yeah, so it's those two things, understanding that those are real challenges that women do face. We do hope that by, you know, by speaking out and by doing our degrees and positioning ourselves at the next level, that we will have a foot at senior level management and be able to change those things. So recognize both, but recognize also that as you think about the ROI of your MBA, also remember that a lot of employers, you know, especially now in industries like tech and finance, consulting, they want, you know, highly educated female candidates, right? So you are preparing yourself for the future of companies that are looking for people like you. So also, so showcase, it's a good example when you, as you prepare your application, this will be your first step in preparing, you know, your CV and those other things like Hannah had mentioned. Also, for those next steps as you prepare for your career, you're setting the stage for the next steps, basically. And I'll pass the reins going on a little bit.
I appreciate the plug greatly there for Forte and the work that we've been doing. I mentioned briefly at the beginning, for over 20 years now, we've been hoping to change the balance of power in the workplace by way of graduate education. And, you know, in 2000, there was definitely nowhere close to parity in business graduate school. And it was, you know, medical schools or law schools were at 50% or greater with women in the classroom. And you looked at business schools and it was like 26%. And the majority of the reason is that some folks just didn't understand that an MBA did not translate directly to Wall Street. It didn't mean you had to go to Wall Street, right? There are so many opportunities that an MBA can give. And then, you know, the other factor is too, not believing that you can do it, not knowing anyone in your community professionally or personally that has achieved it or that has navigated the process. And then the financial barrier as well. You know, we're finding that women tend to be more risk adverse and aware of the investment as an MBA can be. And so really, again, we're doing the work to help break down those barriers, help build your confidence and share the knowledge and resources so you can understand that all of this is not just a financial reality, but you deserve it. You deserve to be in the MBA classroom. You deserve to be at the table after your MBA with those same credentials as some counterparts. So thank you for that, Jenny. Speaking of the investment, Hannah, I'm going to turn it back to you here. Candidates are likely considering that and awards coming back, or if they are thinking of applying in the future, but they're trying to get things in a row right now. What kind of suggestions, or maybe can you talk a little bit about like the industries or companies that maybe are demanding the female talent to consider long-term for these candidates that have the question on the return?
I think that it's a very important question because grad school is one, going through the process is hard. Applying to multiple schools, getting in, it's 1 to 2, maybe 3 years of your life, depending on what program. And that's, and it's expensive. Let's not forget that. Even with scholarship packages, this is going to be something that takes significant personal, professional, and financial investment. So what does an ROI look like? ROI is not just about salary. Okay, it's much more than that. So walk with me through this answer. First, let's think about industries. In the US, women make up about 47% of the workforce, right? And that's in prime age. So whether you are 25, 35, 37, 45, 55, all of those you are contributing to that 47% of the workforce. Women own close to 10 million businesses, which is about 1.4 trillion in sales. So with that, we are an economic powerhouse, individually, but also collectively in the US. Women are 3 times more likely to hold bachelor's degrees. And despite all of that, business ownership, participation in the workforce, and education, women are still underrepresented in STEM occupations, and that has been declining since 1999. Women with their MBAs, however, they see 55 to 65% increase in their salary post-MBA. So your MBA is what is making a difference financially to you. And that is a huge piece to understand, that we are already a part of this economic powerhouse, individually, collectively, but the MBA is really what we see to increase our salary earning. And that is something that happens immediately within 3 months of graduation, but also over time. 5 years post-graduation, 7 years post-graduation. So you have the earning power that will continue to grow after you leave your MBA. Now, when we look at the financial opportunities, let's also understand industry. One, every industry is looking to hire talent. Your MBA puts proof on that. It is a stamp, a seal of approval that you have gone above and beyond, that you have completed this rigorous program from your institution, and that means you are talented, okay? So first, that's for any industry. They are looking for that. But there are some industries that have specific focus on it, where there are 10 to 30% of them are hiring female MBAs. And that's going to be on marketing and advertising, management consulting, financial services, consumer goods, and of course, government and public services. 10 to 30% of that workforce is a female MBA. It's also important that you choose an industry that matters to you. For some folks, investigating their DEI initiatives will be a reason for you to apply, for you to feel safe within a company. You should do that research with your career services team while you are in the program. Evaluate if that is important to you. It's going to be important to understand if having a female board member is important for you, if your boss is. Those are all investigative things that your career services and executive coaches in the program you choose will support you with. And that's why this doesn't happen overnight. Remember, this is research that takes time for you to feel comfortable in these industries. And know that your MBA experience is going to expand your professional network through your classmates in your cohort, through the alumni that Jenny spoke to, and through the internships or through the client projects that you'll participate in. All of that expands your network and your research about the industries that you will want to work in. Many of you already have 5-10 years of experience on this call. You're looking to pivot, or you're looking to advance. You may want to stay in your company and help grow other women. You may want to leave your company in something that is more focused on you. These are all opportunities that you will explore in the MBA program that will support you, to give you tools and services that are going to impact your career. So the overall other specific industries, of course there are, but it's also the industry that you're in currently. And your MBA is going to help you change that trajectory for yourself, but also for other women. So it's very important to invest in yourself. Try to work on imposter syndrome. It's very hard. I think we all still work on it. And really try to, identify what type of company and industry you can make an impact in, and the ones that are investing in you as well. That's a long answer, but it's not an easy one.
I appreciate the insight. I think the statistics are helpful, but the biggest thing is going back to what we've talked about from the beginning. You only get one chance to do this. So do your research and be sure that you are investing in yourself, your personal, your professional goals, the experience that you want, and be confident in what that is and how you plan to make a difference now as a student in your MBA program, and then post MBA as well. So thank you. Thank you both for some very, very thoughtful responses and some information here. I want to remind all the attendees that are here today that you can stop by any of the booths today and speak with Hannah and Ginny further. Myself and my colleague Ashley are also available on the event to chat with you about some of the resources that our specific programs or our organizations provide for women in business, and some opportunities for you to learn more. But as we narrow down to the end of this opening session, I do have one more quick question for both Hannah and Ginny, if that's okay. This is an exciting time. I know we touched on it before, that the admissions reps, they want you to be successful in this process. They want to admit you, and it's their job to help you. Myself, a former admissions rep at a partner school at Forte, I've worn the committee hat. I've been helping candidates like you before through this process for many years. And it's so rewarding for us to help you in this endeavor. And we know you don't have all the answers. So enjoy today's event. It can be overwhelming, but take it with a grain of salt and take advantage of the opportunities to speak with these folks and learn as much as you can, and then follow up. Be intentional with the information you're gathering and how you approach today's event. But I'll go with you, Hannah, first, and then I'll go to you, Jenny, if that's okay. Before we depart, what is your top piece of advice for candidates that are here today, maybe starting, maybe a little further into their process? What can you help them with, put them at ease?
Okay. One, you said it perfect, Sarah. We are in your corner. We are rooting for you. Okay. We love answering your questions. There is nothing too big or too small that we do not know. And if we don't know, we'll find it for you. Choosing the right graduate program is so critical, and it's about you. We already earned our degrees, okay? We're done with that. So this isn't about us, it's about you. And remember that throughout your whole process. Select a program that makes you feel comfortable and confident. Select the location that makes you feel comfortable and confident, because grad school is such a large investment, financial, personal, time commitment. Do not go on a whim, okay? And that research takes time. It goes beyond the website, okay? You really want to work with folks like us and the other institutions that are here today and make that connection, all right? Find the program that feels good in your soul and feels good for the ROI as well. And that takes a lot of time. We are really invested in you. And then the next piece of advice, plan ahead, okay? We have very important deadlines. And we don't want to see you be the last person to apply, or maybe you missed a deadline and you have to go into the next cycle. Really work with institutions to understand what their cycle is, when you need to submit your documents on time, so that way you are planning your documentation correctly, your interview schedule correctly, because most of you are probably going to be applying to 3 to 5 schools, which is good news. We want to see that. Explore, find the right program and fit, and plan ahead for these important deadlines. That's my advice.
Love it. Thank you. Jenny?
That's really good advice, actually. I'm probably piggybacking off of you now. First of all, I like the deadlines, and that for us, our students come from all over the world. And we're so fortunate to have such diverse cohorts. But it adds extra complications when you decide to go do a degree abroad. We have a tremendous support for you to help you find housing, but there are some things that are outside of our limits, visa processing times, etc. We'll do our best to help you with that, but keep that in mind. You probably can't decide the day before to go do a degree abroad. There's a lot to set up, but we're happy to help you. But yes, keep that in mind in the process. If this is one of your considerations, is to study abroad for your master's degree. The other main piece of advice I would say is leverage every opportunity. It's intense doing a degree, especially an MBA, a master's degree. It's hard. It's hard work. It's intense, but enjoy every moment. Enjoy the moment of learning, of being engaged in this new intellectual environment. But ask those questions to those profs. Be there, show up to that alumni event and make sure you know everybody's name, shake their hands, show up to the career center. This is a lot of the points that Hannah made. Leverage every opportunity, because you don't know where that door is going to open. It comes, crazy things happen when you do your degree. And it's not just about the coursework, it is about the experience. And make sure that you have the best experience, and that experience reflects your career goals. You have to go and get them. And we'll do our best to support you, but it's up to you and the work that you put into it.
I love it.
I guess that's my top advice.
Thank you. I'll just leave with a few parting things on my end here. You should never be the first to tell yourself no. If you're not betting on yourself and you're not willing to put together an application, do the self-reflection and the work that goes into the application process, you won't have the chance to get a yes. You need to give yourself that chance. So bet on yourself, put the work into it. The investment of your time will pay off after the investment of your MBA, and what's meant for you will not miss you. I truly, truly believe that, but you can't be the one to tell yourself no at this point. If someone's going to bet on you and believe in you, it has to be yourself. So trust all of the things you've done up until this point, all of your achievements, knock that imposter syndrome into the trash can, wherever you can put it, but lean on your peers, lean on the admissions folks, absorb as much information as you can, and enjoy the rest of the event. Hannah, Jenny, thank you so much for being here today, for sharing your insights and some information with our lovely attendees, and a special thanks to GMAC Tours for hosting us and kicking off this event with a lovely session. Enjoy your day, everyone.
Thank you so much, Sarah. Thanks, Hannah.
Bye.
Bye.